All right, welcome back. Let's start the show with a RBD volume addition to a guest. First, we're gonna show our pools. Right, Ceph comes with one pool by default. RBD, it's called. And the way the way pools work is that they can, in theory, consume the entire cluster space. So for RBD images, you actually create them with a specific size so that, unlike a pool, it will not consume the entire space. And they look like sub files to the thing. So to look inside a pool, you run the following command. There's nothing in there now. Now RBD is the name of the executable. The second RBD with the -p on it, that represents the pool name. So if you created a new pool, you'd put that new pool name after the -p, right? So let's create a volume. And I'm creating it within the RBD pool. I'm going to call it Bovine's Test. Specify a size of, actually let's make it 5 gig. Right? And we're going to set the order size. The order size is the cluster size. Now, it's hard to explain. There's different numbers of them, and they don't correlate exactly. There's some weird correlation. Let's see. One second. Should I? Oh, that's right. The documentation isn't exactly up to snuff. No, you know what? Just let's put a false number in there. Usually the program's pretty good about that. There you go. Okay. So, says right there that 12 is 4 kilobytes, which is what we're going to set it to because we're creating an RBD like a SAN volume type deal. So we're going to set ours to 12. And as you go up in number, you can see that it will be up in size. I believe the default is a 4 meg stripe, 4 meg objects. We're not going to do 4 meg. We'll do the 4K because we're going to connect this as a thing here. I'm going to go ahead and start a monitor on the Ceph monitor, I should say. Just V1. Oh, crap. I just want a continuous, ongoing thing of what's going on. So there we go. Let's get some network monitoring on these OSD hosts so that we can kind of get some insight as to what's happening. So Slurm is lightweight. Slurm runs on the console, and it will give you bandwidth information. Let's install that real fast. Let's kick it on. All right. Got to pull out my little cheat sheet here because I don't memorize all the commands. I memorize a lot of them, but I don't memorize all of them, right? I got my little phone here. So we created our thing. Let's go ahead and make our key, right? Because the key is how we're going to get access to it on a different machine. Do auth get or create. Right, client dot, and the name of the computer, right? So in our case, we're going to do Bovine PC. Then you want to add that client dot to the beginning of it. We're going to set our rights here. Allow our WX on the OSD level. And we're going to just allow read on the monitors. This is like, we're going to pretend this is like a real world scenario where you wouldn't want clients to write to your monitors. And we're going to output the file to our monitor's Ceph folder. I'm going to actually do this. Ceph.client.bovinepc.keyring. Okay. Now, the name of the file is actually somewhat important. It recognizes it as a keyring file, and Ceph.client specifies that it is a client. And you can see right there in the monitor output that it did create a auth record for that keyring. So now we have a RBD, we have a key. We need to start a machine that we're gonna connect it to. Let's do that. We're gonna grab our template here. Clone that sucker. Now, in the previous video, I was telling you guys how clients did not need to have that full IP list, and you're going to see that here. We're going to go ahead and kick this guy. Now, we are going to configure this guy with the Ceph setup script, because, like I said, I run that pretty much on everything. So we're here. Oh, jeez. I run that on practically everything because it's got the nice sys controls in there, and it creates the Ceph user. Now, you don't have to do that. You could just plain old install the correct version of Ceph locally. You don't have to do any of this crap. I just like to do it via the Ceph deploy, right? It kind of makes it hard to screw it up if you're doing it, you know, the same way you installed all the servers. Okay. So our script is run. See, looking at my cheat sheet here. Okay. Okay, there we go. So let's make sure that we get our hosts config up and running. Oops. There we go. We see this one's the very next IP, and that's static from here on out. So let's edit hosts. Wrong file. Let's change the host. Well, the host name's already changed. We just need to reflect that in this file. I never got around to that sed line. Well, at least not for these images anyway. Well, we see this guy's 24, which correlates there. So we're just going to add the monitors in here. Now, in theory, we shouldn't have to do this because once the Ceph conf is on here, it'll have the IPs. It's actually in the config file. But I'm going to put them in anyway. As I said, if this was a production setup, you'd have a highly available DNS server. Let's go back here. Alright. So you see I only added the monitors here. You don't need them. I'm telling you, you don't need them. I just do it. So we got our self-deploy machine. We need to reboot this guy so that it logs in with this static IP. Crap, and I lost it behind a whole pile of windows. There we go. Alright. Pardon me. I'm having a really tough time typing today. I'm sick, in case you guys haven't figured that out yet. I'm very, very sick. Got me a little sinus infection here. Just drank my Kool-Aid. You know what? Oh, I'm under the wrong user. Look at that. Now I should be able to look at my... Where's the key copy? Oh, there we go. Alright. Alright. Yes. Let's log it in. Keys copied. We gotta edit our SSH host daily. There it is, config. See, this is actually pretty quick. I mean, if I was doing this to a bunch of hosts, if I'm doing a SAN replacement with my Ceph cluster, you're not going to go through all this. You're just going to set up, you know, your spacewalk or whatever it is you use to have whatever version of Ceph ready to go. And once Ceph's installed, you just need to copy some of the files over. Like literally just copy them and be ready to go. The continuing saga of... Now you can see in the background there, I got the little network monitors going in the background. You can see at this point we've barely touched any speed. 4K is about roughly the maximum. We're going to log in on this guy here. Ceph. Fast pass. Now we're going to have to copy our files, right? So there's our file. There's the bovine PC keyring. I'm just going to type the IP. I don't think I added bovine PC to this guy's hosts. It didn't work. What the hell? Yep, didn't work. Alright. What did I do wrong? Oh, didn't add a folder. No. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Did that wrong. There we go. Now it'll work. Alright, we copied the keyring file. So now we have to move that to our Ceph folder. Alright, that's done. Now we need to get the configuration file. I should have copied it both at the same time, but whatever. Let's go back here. Okay, yeah, it's not in there. There's no cephconf. I was just wondering if the deploy copied it for me. It did not. You know, I always wonder, you know, what features they add to these guys. They kind of add it, you know, willy-nilly. The same shit. Pardon my language. So I don't know what features they add that might do stuff for you more automatically. Alright, so once we have the configuration file here, we're like golden. We're ready to actually do some mapping of a block device. Okay. Looking at my cheat sheet here. Alright, so currently you see no added block devices. So we're going to do RBD map. We're going to add the client name, right? Let's do as it says, rather. And then we're going to have to add the client name. ID. Jesus. Sorry, I'm very sick today. Okay, what did I do wrong here? I think that should... Bovine PC, right. That's still not working. See, this is why I show you guys how to list stuff. because shit's important. Pardon my language again. Okay. Just typo. There we go. It's there. Hooray. There it is. Look at that. 4.9 GBs. Right? But it doesn't list it here. It's not a traditional disk, unfortunately. It is a block device. I would say that the system kind of treats it similarly to like an MMC BLK deal, but oh, you know, MMC BLK does come up in F-disk. Why doesn't this guy come up in it? Oh well. It doesn't really matter. Let's mount it. I'm just going to create a mount point for it here. So we're going to format the disk now. Now there's a couple of ways to call the partition. Not the partition, the block device. There's this way, RBD0. Or if you actually do RBD, you can specify the name of the actual volume. How this helps is in case you do multiple RBDs to the same system. RBD0, RBD1, that can get kind of arbitrary really fast. So you want to, you know, if you're one of those big by path guys, you know, by name, oh shit, look at my system resources, no wonder shit's going slow. I was wondering why this is taking forever to format. So CPU's maxing out. You see I don't have hyper-threading enabled. This is my gaming PC. We'll have to wait it out. I mean, at this point it's mapped. It's basically a block device. If you're satisfied where we're at, fine. If not, we're going to just look at some metrics while this is doing its thing. Well, I mean, it didn't move too terribly slowly. It is going pretty slow, though. I mean, that should be much quicker. Well, you have to keep in mind, this is a gaming PC. It's all on one system. I have, what, 8 boxes running. 6 Ceph machines, a deploy machine, and a client VM, you know? I think it's handling it pretty well for what's going on. For only 4 procs. There's actually no real traffic going through. What the hell? So normally, if there was some serious traffic, it would show up here. It would start scrolling. That there's X number of operations happening with so much bandwidth, but it's not doing any of that. That's bizarre. Maybe it's creating... Oh, that's right. It's creating the objects at this point. So as this thing's scanning block devices, there we go. It creates... the 4 kilobyte objects. They're not actually made until they're used. So there you go. See that 1,000 some odd IOPS, but roughly 3 megabytes per second is the cluster speed going on there. Not spectacular. But again, I'm running, you know, 8 VMs on one box with 4 procs. With, you know, 1 proc dedicated to each VM. So there's a lot of context switching here. We're not going to get the CPU that we should, considering that normally you would have, you know, 6 multi-core systems doing all the Ceph stuff, and not 1, right? Oh, yeah, look at that. And look, it's all that red. That's all system. That's all. I'm doing shit with the disk. You know what I mean? Got no memory left. It's all cached or used. Yeah. But there you go. We just mapped an RBD. We just mapped a block device. Now, my next video, I'm going to tackle iSCSI. At least I hope I'm going to do iSCSI. I don't know yet, in all honesty. Let's mount the disk. I'm going to mount it by name. I love mounting by name. I'm not going to lie. It's my favorite shit. Let's do some DDs for some speed testing, eh? What do you guys think? Probably not a good idea. But hey, we'll call 0. I mean, 0's fast, right? My brain is messed up today. I am sick. I shouldn't be making a video when I'm sick. It lowers the quality of the video. Jeez, I hear them walking around up there. Alright. 4K, same sector as the size. So we need to count. We have to add count. There you go. Okay, well, you know, that didn't do anything. Maybe it doesn't write zeros? I don't know. Let's add an order of magnitude to this thing, I think. Yeah, let's add an order of magnitude. There you go. A little bit more. It's not quite using it enough. It barely does anything. What the hell? We finally got into the megabytes portion. You see that? There you go. We're doing 2.6, 2.5, 2.6. And you see, like, a lot of it's queued back there. It's not actually doing it, like, on the fly. Got another. Let's take a look at the bandwidth. Oh, see, okay, now we have some serious bandwidth. See, the top speed, 6.7 megabytes per second. Overall top speed, I'm sorry, 7.7 megabytes per second. We're doing roughly 3.8, almost 4. My system resources are just used to shit. Maybe when I make these videos, I should, like, shut down and enable hyperthreading. But if you see my uptime, if you saw my uptime there, yeah. This is taking awfully long. Maybe this was a bad idea. Well, no worky. Apparently this computer does not know what Control-C means. Let's kill it the hard way. That's my wife, guys. One sec, babe. I'm recording a video right now. Please come back later. All right. Sorry about that. This is still not closing. Stop. Stop. Jesus, what? Oh, it's gone. Okay. Finally. That was like the process that wouldn't end. I never finished writing the record of the size, so let's kill that. Well, there you go. Alright, gentlemen. We'll see where our next video takes us, but that's how you connect in RBD. And you just saw the background there, that the speed has just come down. Let's snapshot this guy and snapshot the rest of them. I'm going to offline the snapshots other than this guy. And I will talk to you guys next time, when I'm not sick, hopefully. Talk to you later. Goodbye. Let me know if you have any questions as well. What a day.